Hi everyone, my name is Kathy Kruse. I have spent my life in the car business. I managed new car franchises my entire life. Actually, my grandfather was a dealer in the 50s in downtown Los Angeles. So I have been entrenched in auto retail my entire life, and actually I never used to play with dolls or anything. I played with like Hot Wheels and Matchbox, and I built model cars. So I think you could say it's in my blood. I'm a car gal through and through. I came to social media marketing about a little over 5 years ago. When the recession hit, we've all been through some transitions and things in our lives, and I was watching dealerships around me closing. My friends were losing their jobs, and I said, I need to do something different. And I actually got into the business. What originally caught my eye was online ratings. I could see that the online rating sites were going to be something that were going to need to be managed with inside the business, and so that there wasn't just those that were saying negative things out there talking about the dealership. I'd like to have happy, loyal customers, which there are way more of, to share their experience. So that's what brought me to social media marketing, and I have a good friend that has an internet marketing agency, so here I am. I've always been a natural networker. I love social. I think it connects us all in ways that we've never been able to have before, and certainly the customers are connecting with each other. So in auto retail, that's the place we need to be. So today we're going to talk about the 10 next level best practices to drive leads and sales. And for those of you that are new to Facebook, I'm going to, first let me ask, how many have a Facebook page? Great. Awesome, that's good. And how many are actually not on Facebook at all? Okay, that gives me a good idea. Okay, great. All right, let's jump in. Let me ask those of you that have a Facebook page, how many of you have sold a car off of Facebook? Yes, okay, great. What we're going to talk about today is Facebook marketing and just social media in general. You know, the platform of Facebook is something that's very new to many dealers, but we'll talk about this idea of change. You know, we've all been through change with the recession in some way or another in our lives, even personal lives, business, whatever the case may be. Us and our customers. So we'll talk about what Facebook marketing is, why you need to do it, and actually give you some tips on how to do it so that when you go back to your dealership, you can implement them immediately. So auto retail for 2014 is actually 3 components. We're talking about targeted marketing. Those of you that have done direct mail pieces in the past or radio spots, things like that, these were sort of broadcasting messages one way to the audience and to everyone, and at some point 2 or 3% of them, if you were good, came into the store to buy. So what we're able to do now, especially with Facebook, is laser target our messages to those people that are most likely going to buy from us. And it's much cheaper, it's much more efficient, it's just a lot different. Second is digital relationship building. You know, those of you guys that have, and gals that have regular customers that are your raving fans, those are relationships that you've built with the customer over time. And we're able to do that now digitally. And especially the younger generation, under 30, that's how they develop relationships. There's many people, I have actually many friends on social that I've never met in real life, but I still consider them very, very good friends of mine. And then self-published content. This is another new component of marketing. We've always, when we were doing advertising, it was always, you know, advertise the vehicle in whatever publication. Never really had to worry about making up our own content. We had, if you were lucky, you had an advertising agency do it, but so we'll talk about all of these 3 and more today, okay? And one other component, as I said, with online reputation is remember now the deer have guns. And I'm sure you guys know from some of you that have your online rating sites and have suffered the wrath of a negative review. I I always like to incorporate discussion around online reputation, because while the ratings can be written on the rating sites like Yelp and Google Plus Local, you can also be talked about on Facebook and Twitter and all of the different platforms. So there's specific ways to manage that, and we'll touch on those a little bit today. Okay. I don't know, have any of you ever heard of Avinash? He works for Google. He goes around the country talking about it. They call him the digital marketing evangelist. He's super smart, and if you ever want to follow his blog, I highly recommend it. His name is Avinash, A-V-I-N-A-S-H. This is his newest idea about a marketing framework, and I think that it's awesome, actually. He basically there's three separate kinds of customers in three separate consideration stages. The first is the C customer, and these are people who buy and service cars. And then there's the think customer, people who buy and service cars and are thinking they need to. And then the do customer, people who buy and service cars, think they need to, and are ready to buy right now. We need to speak to all those consideration stages when we're marketing online. And as I wrote down here, your marketing and advertising must be broad enough to engage at each customer consideration stage. So these are some of the platforms where your customers are, and the platforms are growing, actually. Does anyone here have a blog? Okay, thank you. All right, so you want to be where your customers are, meet them where they are, and have conversations. Just as if they were to walk in your showroom, you're going to meet them online somewhere and start talking to them. They are, I would consider, a prospect like that. So today we're going to mostly talk about Facebook, which is the most frequently checked website on the internet. There's 852 million daily logins. 25% of those people log in 5 times a day. And 3.2 billion likes and comments every day. It's pretty massive. These are the top reasons that people like your page. They're already a fan in real life, and they want to show their affiliation. If they love you, they're a raving fan, they want to hook up with you there. Exclusive deals and discounts. Their friends like your page. And your content is engaging and highly shareable. The content is the things that you share on your Facebook page, the things that people will like and comment and share. Okay? We're going to talk a lot about content today, so it's really what drives your page. So let's talk about these 10 next level best practices to drive leads and sales. First is customer-centric marketing. I touched on that a second ago. It's if you sell something, you make a customer today, and if you help someone, you make a customer for life. This is a strange place for people that are dealers that have not been in the space before, and thinking about how can I help my customer purchase from me. It's actually how can I help my customer purchase, and hopefully they'll purchase from you if they see that you've tried to help them. It is all about the customer. It's all about who the customer is, what they are, what challenges they have, what activities they do during the day, what your community is like, where your store is. But it is all about the customer now. Okay? And again, we can use Facebook to touch each consideration stage that customer is in. The C customer that isn't, they're just kind of on Facebook, looking at their friends and family and see what's going on. You've got the think customer that's possibly ready to buy, but just thinking about it, and then the do customer that's actually ready to, okay? Number 2 is clear objectives. I am a fan of, since I spent my life, running dealerships, I am a fan of making sure that there is some way to measure what you're doing and set some goals. With respect to ROI, we want to make sure that what we're doing marketing-wise is paying off. So I have many people, when I speak to audiences, I have many people tell me, you can't sell cars on Facebook, or one of the many things that people will say about why not to be on Facebook. But you definitely, if you set goals and objectives and you measure what you do, you can tie them back to that and definitely judge whether you've spent money correctly. Here's an example of some objectives that you could set for your page. Okay, Maybe you want to grow 500 in-market likes by November 30th. In-market likes means your market area or your competitor's market area. There are some dealership Facebook pages that have likes from all over the country or sometimes all over the world, and people that like your page from those areas aren't really going to help you. They're not really going to buy from you. Next, you want to increase engagement by 10%. Engagement is people that are liking and commenting on and sharing your content. 10% or more, okay? Increase reach by 25,000. You can reach 25,000, you can reach much more than that weekly. Facebook has an analytics tool called Insights, and you can, you take a look at that every day, and you can reach at least 25,000, and maybe you want to grow it to 25,000 or beyond, but these are just some examples. And of course then generate 30 plus leads per month, okay? If you know what you're doing, you can definitely do that, okay? Great design, number 3, great design. You know, in marketing, we want to make sure our message is visually consistent. So I actually went on and looked up a couple of, Nicole that runs the convention gave me a couple names, and are any of you from these stores look familiar? It's J.D. Byrider and Right Way Automotive. Okay, this is your timeline cover. This is what goes at the heading of your Facebook page. And you can see there's people, this one here at the top, they kind of cut off their gals' heads right there. But you want to have some nice inviting people to look at when people come to your page. I shared this one down here. This is a local dealership where I'm at. It's a group of dealerships. And but you just get a good feeling when you look at that picture. When you see people, we as humans like to see other humans. This is kind of some examples. These are what not to do. The top one is some people that have not even bothered to put a cover shot at the top of their page. Facebook changed that a 1.5 years ago to be able to have that header up there. It's free real estate. You might as well take advantage of it. You can also have, it used to be you could only have a photo, but they just changed it recently, and you can actually put some marketing language up there or a call to action, an arrow to the like button that says, you know, click like our page. There's lots of opportunities, so take up the free real estate. This example right here, this is, it's a car, you know, meh. It's something that you might, of course you sell that, but it's not really representative. It's not a visual representation of your dealership's brand. And then down here someone actually put, they put the Google Maps, I don't know how they even got it on there, and it's hard to tell because of the resolution here, but when you look at the page, it's really grainy. Yeah, if you want to have a map, I wouldn't recommend putting a map there. You definitely want to have people welcoming those that are visiting your page. You don't want to look like you're open. Number 4 is solid content strategy. These are things that what you're going to post on your page. Okay. I'm going to play this video right now, and I'll explain in a minute what it is.
There's something else at play here. About 3.5 years ago, I made a discovery. And this discovery profoundly changed my view on how I thought the world worked, and it even profoundly changed the way in which I operate in it. As it turns out, there's a pattern. As it turns out, all the great and inspiring leaders and organizations in the world, whether it's Apple or Martin Luther King or the Wright brothers, they all think, act, and communicate the exact same way, and it's the complete opposite to everyone else. All I did was codify it. And it's probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do, 100%. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done, that's how most sales is done, and that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do, we say how we're different or how we're better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers with the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? You ready to buy a computer from me? All I did was reverse the order of the information. What it proves to us is that people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This explains why every single person in this room is perfectly comfortable buying a computer from Apple. But we're also perfectly comfortable buying an MP3 player from Apple, or a phone from Apple, or a DVR from Apple. But as I said before, Apple's just a computer company. There's nothing that distinguishes them structurally from any of their competitors. Their competitors are all equally qualified to make all of these products. In fact, they tried. A few years ago, Gateway came out with flat-screen TVs. They're eminently qualified to make flat-screen TVs. They've been making flat-screen monitors for years. Nobody bought one. And Dell came out with MP3 players and PDAs. And they make great quality products, and they can make perfectly well-designed products, and nobody bought one. In fact, talking about it now, we can't even imagine buying an MP3 player from Dell. Why would you buy an MP3 player from a computer company? But we do it every day. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The goal is not to do business with everybody who needs what you have. The goal is to do business with people who believe what you believe. Here's the best part. None of what I'm telling you is my opinion. It's all grounded in the tenets of biology, not psychology, biology. If you look at a cross-section of the human brain, looking from the top down, what you see is the human brain is actually broken into three major components that correlate perfectly with the golden circle. Our newest brain, our Homo sapien brain, our neocortex, corresponds with the what level. The neocortex is responsible for all of our rational and analytical thought and language. The middle two sections make up our limbic brains, and our limbic brains are responsible for all of our feelings, like trust and loyalty. It's also responsible for all human behavior, all decision-making, and it has no capacity for language. In other words, when we communicate from the outside in, yes, people can understand vast amounts of complicated information like features and benefits and facts and figures. It just doesn't drive behavior. When we communicate from the inside out, we're talking directly to the part of the brain that controls behavior, and then we allow people to rationalize it with the tangible things we say and do. This is where gut decisions come from. Sometimes you can give somebody all the facts and your figures, and they say, I know what all the facts and details say, but it just doesn't feel right. Why would we use that verb? It doesn't feel right, because the part of the brain that controls decision-making doesn't control language. And the best we can muster up is, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Or sometimes you say you're leading with your heart, or you're leading with your soul. Well, I hate to break it to you, those aren't other body parts controlling your behavior. It's all happening here in your limbic brain, the part of the brain that controls decision-making and not language. But if you don't know why you do what you do, and people respond to why you do what you do, then how will you ever get people to vote for you or buy something from you, or more importantly, be loyal and want to be a part of what it is that you do? Again, the goal is not just to sell people who need what you have. The goal is to sell to people who believe what you believe. The goal is not just to hire people who need a job. It's to hire people who believe what you believe. I always say that, there's if you hire people just because they can do a job, they'll work for your money. But if you hire people who believe what you believe, they work for you with blood and sweat and tears.
So that was Simon Sinek. Has anyone ever seen that before? It's a TED Talk. Yeah, he has a great book called Start With Why. I highly recommend it. That's about a 20-minute talk on TED, so they've got 12 million views and counting. But social marketing and marketing in general is all about why you do what you do. People buy why you do what you do. So with respect to content, we're talking about content strategy and having a strategy in place to connect to those people that will buy cars and service cars from you. I always want to ask 3 separate questions when I'm designing content strategy for a dealership. The first one is, who are you? And it's why people buy from you. Why buy here? Why do you do what you do? Why do people buy from you? And I find many dealers have a hard time answering that. It's not something that you've thought about probably for a long time. So, but we definitely want, the more we know about your dealership, what makes you tick, why people buy from you, the better the content's actually going to be on your Facebook page. Next is, who is your customer? We like to say we want to sell cars to everyone, but we want to describe that customer that's in your specific market area. Your area is different than any other area in the world, and what makes it great? What is it about that area that you want to communicate online, and what your customers are going to be interested in? And then third, what is your goals? We talked about goals a second ago. So we want to set goals so that we can tie them back to these objectives. What is content strategy? And I like to use this definition. It really speaks to it. Their mindset, culture, and approach to delivering your customers' information needs in all the places they're searching for it across each stage of the buying process. That see, think, and do process. And whether you use social media or you're doing digital marketing, you're using Google for search, trying to get search results from Google, anywhere you're going digitally, you want to make sure that you have a solid content strategy in place and a way to speak to your customers and give them all the information that they're looking for. And if you can deliver that information in a great way, they're going to remember and they're going to buy from you. So with respect to when to post on Facebook, 2 to 3 times per day generally. We want morning, lunch, and early evening. You just think about when people normally check their email, and that's when people are generally on Facebook. And it's going to be different for you, but that's where you start when you're new. It may turn out to be different. You might get more traffic in the mornings than in the evenings, just kind of depends. But let the audience guide you on where they're interested and what they're looking at certain times of the day. And a couple of tools to help you guys be awesome. I recommend Post Planner. It's a Facebook app that you can schedule your content so that you can sit down once a week if you want, and find content, write content for your Facebook page and schedule it out in the future so that you don't have to worry about it every day. Post Planner also, Facebook will let you do that actually, but Post Planner, what the value of Post Planner is in addition to that, is that it gives you status update ideas, thought-provoking questions, cool quotes, things like that. It also has a content engine, and you can put any keyword that you want in the content engine and it'll come up, and the trending content on that keyword will come up. Great way to and it's nice. You could just click on it, it puts it into the scheduler, and off you go. If you guys want to use Post Planner, the guy that created it actually reached out to me a long time ago and had me use it for free. So he gives me a promo code for the first 30 days. It's $25 a month or so. But for first 30 days, if you want to use Kruse Control, Kruse Control, you can get the first 30 days for free and test it out. And then the other is a app called WooBox. I'll show you in a little bit about what landing pages are, but you can do contests, customer loyalty, coupons, specials, things like that. It makes it really easy, and it's got analytics. WooBox, WOOBOX. That's also fairly reasonable. I think it's like $30 a month. So with respect to once you've designed your content, you want the right mix. And I always use the 70-20-10 rule to start with a page. First is 70% personality, which is non-automotive related content. This is the part that kind of gets people like, well, what is it? And when you've done a really good job at your content strategy and really defined who your customer is and what they're interested in, then you're going to get better at that personality type of content. Local sports teams, causes, things like that, just depends on your specific community. 20% is brand. This brand specific is your dealership's brand specific. It would be things like, I'll give you an example. I have a independent repair shop. They have a technician that rides his bike 50 miles to work every day. And so whenever we share content around that, people go crazy. It's highly engaging, interesting, and brings in that whole community of people that ride their bikes. And then 10% is products and services. Don't be afraid to share, a picture of a vehicle you've got on special or something that's actually telling people this is what I sell. I find actually some dealerships that are they use Facebook just to create interest in their brand, and they forget about the fact that they're actually, you can sell things. And especially with service specials, if any of you are servicing vehicles, I get a lot of engagement on Facebook pages from service specials. And the Facebook marketing rule, the number one probably that I would say is that if you have no engagement, then no one will see your content. So in reviewing some of the pages over the past few days that were in the Florida Independent Auto Dealers Association, I noticed there's some Facebook pages have 1,500 fans, but they've got no engagement. And probably those people are going out and going, yeah, look at me, I got 1,500 fans. Well, if you have no engagement, it doesn't matter if you have 1,500, 500, 1, 2, 10,000. Your content is not making it onto those news feeds of those people that like your page. You have to create engagement. People need to be liking and commenting and sharing on your content, or it's not going to be heard. Number 5 is a promotion strategy. This is how you're going to continually increase your fan base, how you're going to promote your page so that people will continue to like your page and interact with it. These are 5 tips to grow likes. First is create posts that inspire people to share. These can be memes, pictures that are shared around the internet with nice quotes or nice funny things. Those are highly shareable. A couple weeks ago, let me think, it was the Colorado floods, I think, that happened, and there was a picture that went around the internet, went viral, of a horse that was tied to a rail. I don't know if any of you guys saw it, but there was water rushing past it, and it looked like it was tied, but it actually wasn't tied to the rail at all. But there was a lot of conversation around it. So I volunteer at a horse rescue, and I run their Facebook page as a labor of love. So I shared that picture on a Friday night after the floods had come and gone, and it was a story about the person that owned the horse and how the horse was safe, and the horse's name was Socks. So I just shared the picture and the story, and I wrote Socks made it, and I shared it on a Friday night at about 9 o'clock, and I woke up the next day at 7, looked at Facebook, and that had been shared 700 times, and it shocked me. So this is the type of content that people will really engage with. It really mattered. So that happens very regularly. So growing likes on Facebook, the number one way to do it actually is to use Facebook ads. We're going to talk a little bit about Facebook ads in a minute. Offer exclusive deals for liking your page. Maybe run a email campaign or something, put signs in the store. Add Facebook social plugin to your website. Make sure people can like Facebook right there if they're visiting your website. And installing signs throughout the store. And for those of people that are smartphone users, which is a huge amount of people, put a QR code on your sign so that people can scan it and come and like your page. Okay. With respect to Facebook ads, the values, the ads platform has become so amazing in the past 6 months. For very little money, a few $100s a month, you can use ads to grow your page. You can use ads, and they will increase your engagement, your reach, everything. You know, ever since they went public, and we all know that it's all about revenue now for them, so they're looking for revenue. I've noticed, you know, being around Facebook and managing Facebook pages, is that when people are spending money on Facebook, they're actually getting more love from Facebook too. Sad is the case, but that is true. So, but you can target your ideal customer down to their likes, their specific interests, of course, their age, their location, the amount of money they make, very defined, laser targeted, like we talked earlier about targeted marketing. Lots of opportunity there. They're inexpensive. They are the most effective at growing likes, definitely. You can uncover raving fans with Facebook ads. People who have liked your page, you can run campaigns to people that are friends of those people, and then those friends see the ad and it says that their friends liked your page and they can like it at the same time. It's called social proof. You can definitely drive new leads and drive website conversions as well. You can drive people to your website through Facebook ads. All right, so this is a little bit more about the platform and the options that you can, that are available to you as if you're running Facebook ads. Marketplace ads are the ones, if you're on Facebook, they're the ones just on the right-hand side that you've seen over the past few years. Those are the first ones they started with. There's things called promoted posts. Has anyone here done a promoted post before? For very little money, $5, $10, $15, you can promote maybe a specific post that had some decent engagement on it. Maybe a few people liked it and maybe someone commented. You can promote that post to a specific location, specific cities. That's a new thing. Before it would just be everyone. And that will get a lot more people to engage with it. More people will see that. You're basically paying to have your content on people's news feeds. Facebook offers, this is something that not a lot of people use. It's very simple to use. If you have a special offer that you want to give to only Facebook users, you can use Facebook offers for that. The Power Editor, this is a Chrome add-on. If you're using Chrome browser, awesome for it kind of makes the ads manager look very pedestrian. The Power Editor will let you do many, many different things, depending on what your budget is. Even if your budget's $200 or $300 a month, you can use Power Editor and really make your ads work for you. Custom audiences, you can actually load in an email address list that's maybe your own email address list and advertise to those people. And FBX retargeting. You guys are familiar with remarketing, retargeting? Where you're on a specific, maybe you're on, I'll use an example of what happens to me. If I'm on Zappos.com looking at shoes and then I go to Facebook like 5 minutes later, magically I see the same shoes I was looking at on Facebook in an ad. So if someone's visited your website and they've looked at maybe a specific vehicle, you can do retargeting ads and it drops a thing called a cookie on their site and will actually lead them to when they're on Facebook, will lead them to that same specific car and remind them that this vehicle's for sale. All right, number 6 is engagement strategy. This is how you're going to respond to fans and build community. I always like to say every sale starts with a conversation, and whether it's digitally or in person, I think that having a nice conversation with, as a salesperson, selling vehicles to people, asking them questions, kind of facilitating the buy for them, is very important. So we want to listen, ask questions, support, build relationships, and foster leads and sales. And this is an example, this is a Ford Quick Lane that a client of mine, and they just ran this. They have a $11.72 oil change that they do, and they, I don't know, maybe you guys in the back can't see this, but at the bottom here, they just shared this like JPEG of the picture of their Quick Lane, and it says, customer wrote in, do y'all do Nissan oil changes? They actually wrote y'all, Y''A''L''. And then, of course, they respond back. It's very important to listen, engage, respond back with a question. This particular question, do you do Nissan oil changes? You can answer, yes, we do. Would you like me to make you an appointment? Or something like that. So the winning combo when it comes to Facebook is having engaging content supplemented with Facebook ads. That's the winning combo. If you take nothing away today, remember that, okay? Staff participation. Staff participation is becoming more and more prevalent in the running of a Facebook page. For instance, having like that technician that rides his bike 50 miles to work. When people have a connection to you and they see employees that are happy, they feel better about that. The Edelman, the company, it's a marketing company that does a thing called a trust barometer every year, and they have measured the trust that employees have over a CEO, and it's off the charts. So just remember that when customers see the interactions between your employees and other customers, it's very relevant, it's very shareable. Also, it helps. I have a client that has technicians and actually salespeople that contribute to their blog and contribute to the content on their Facebook page. They come up with ideas. Not everybody's going to be ready for that, but there's usually one or two people that are happy to do that. Some people actually, I get calls probably once every couple of days from dealership salespeople that want to know more about Facebook because their dealer doesn't really care about Facebook, and they've already started a Facebook page on their own. So those people are great to have in your back pocket. If you are lucky enough to have a marketing manager, I don't know if any of you guys does anyone here have a large operation with a marketing manager? Okay. I'll just skip this part, but if you ever do hire, it's very hard for independent dealers and just one site, one particular facility to have a dedicated marketing manager to do your marketing for you. But if you were to do that, working with them and the staff, that will definitely produce results. So number 8 is conversion strategy, and this is how you're going to turn your fans into customers. So this is just some stats I found actually on the plane ride coming here, and I think it's interesting that users 45 to 54 are the fastest growing demographic on Facebook and Google+. Whoa. 70% of businesses have acquired a lead from Facebook. So those that don't have a Facebook page, just know that the opportunity's there, and you can sell cars with Facebook. It is possible. There are 2 types of leads with respect to Facebook. One is organic, which is the example I'm showing here, and then the other is paid. So these organic leads come very similar to that one I showed you a minute ago about the Quick Lane. This is an actual lead from a dealership that is one of my clients, and she shared a picture of, I couldn't fit it on, but she appears this picture of a red convertible. And this prospect put, I've always wanted a red sports car, nice. And so they responded, when would you like to come in for a test drive? And so she responded, let's do it sometime this week. This happens regularly on Facebook. I see it happen many, many times. The paid leads are the actual where you run Facebook ads and you have people land on what are called landing pages. Are you guys familiar with landing pages? They click a link and they go to another page and they land there. That's why they're called landing pages, and they're used to move people further down the sales funnel. With respect to Facebook, this area down here, if you've ever looked at a page, but this area down here where there's 4 little thumbnails, this one right here, if someone were on your page and clicked that, it would take them to this landing page. And WooBox, what I mentioned earlier, this is a WooBox landing page for you guys that want to know about what WooBox looks like. And and you can use, it used to be that people would actually go to your page and click on those apps in the old days before Facebook went public. Now you actually have to use Facebook ads to drive people to these landing pages. On the off chance that someone will click one of those apps, great, but normally your traffic is going to come from Facebook ads. So drive them to these landing pages. This was just a Labor Day special. This was actually, I think, a Ford OEM-based campaign. But down here, it's very hard to see, but it says, get a coupon for this offer. They fill in their email address, get a coupon. Done. There you have a lead. So we're going to use content to, going back to the see, think, and do customers, we're going to use content to convert the see and think customers. We're going to have relevant content that matters to them. Remember, if they're on their Facebook page and they're looking at their news feed every day, you're going to be in competition with their friends and their family and their pets and their, funny videos of cats playing the piano. So just know that your content needs to be attractive and engaging and relevant and useful. My friend Jay Baer, he wrote a book called Utility. It's Youtility. I highly recommend it. He said, not everybody can be awesome all the time, but everyone can be useful. And you'd be, I'm sure you guys are like me. I'm from, car business way back, and people that know that I've been in auto retail, whenever they want to buy a car, they come and ask me questions. A lot of it has to do around financing. They don't want to come in the store. Can you do something for me? These are all questions where people don't have a lot of trust. And if you can establish trust with people and give them information to help them decide and help them feel better about coming in the store, give them information about, like, what does it take for if you have bad credit? That's a big question these days, is if you have bad credit, what can you buy a car? Lots of questions around that. So, of course, if you can be entertaining, that's all the more better. Make it shareable, and solve, don't sell. And then the do customers that are ready to buy, we can convert them with actually the Facebook ads, custom tabs, and landing pages, which I just showed you. You can do vehicle specials and discounts, coupons, customer loyalty, service appointments, event registrations if you're having an event. They work really well for that. This is my friend Marcus Sheridan. He goes around the country talking about social marketing and blogging. He had a failing in-ground pool business in Virginia in 2008, and he discovered blogging and how it could get traffic to his website. It's called River Pools. He's done so well now through just blogging and making sure that he's found in search results that he's been able to step away from the pool business, and now his site's called thesaleslion.com. If you ever want to check him out, he's the greatest dude. And he's proven that if a potential customer has read 30 plus pieces of your own content, you have an 80% better chance of closing the sale. So you can reach 30 pieces of content. You can do that in a few days on Facebook. Okay. Number 9 is measure and analyze, and this is going to be how you'll establish ROI. And again, as I said before, when you set your goals, you can measure what you've done, and it's more than just results. You can go around saying, hey, we got a certain amount of likes on our page, but does it really tie into what our goals were? They need to tie back to those objectives. So did you meet those objectives that you set? Did you grow 500 in-market likes by November 30th or more? That's just an example. Increase engagement by 10 plus %, increase your reach by 25,000, or generate 30 plus leads per month. And number 10 is social selling goes mainstream. Another friend of mine, Jim Keenan, he just did a study on social media and using it for sales. And he found that 78.6% of salespeople who use social media as a selling tool outperform those who don't. So we're talking about 80%. That's pretty amazing. And I look at this as it's nothing really that new. It's the platform that's new. But what's not new is it's networking. In the old days, or maybe even now, you belong to the Rotary or you go to the local club, and people know who you are. You network with people. And what social media has done is allowed you to network with people everywhere. And if you're a master networker, which is really just what Facebook marketing is, obviously you can get into the more advanced forms of Facebook marketing, but if you're an awesome marketer, or awesome networker, you can actually generate leads as a salesperson. Also in the study, he asked the people, why aren't you using social media? So for the people in the back, I'll just read some of these. 45% said, I don't understand it. 18.9% said, I don't see the value. 2.7% said, social media is a fad. 17% said, it doesn't work for my business. And 16% said, my customers and prospects don't use it. And what he found from his study is the root cause of these mindsets is that it's a lack of formalized training. So let's go over these that we've talked about. First, just in summary, the customer-centric marketing course, we talked about keeping solving and not selling. Clear objectives, we're going to set goals and objectives for ourselves. Great design, having a visual representation of our brand and be consistent. Solid content strategy, which is what you're going to post on your page. Promotion strategy, how you're going to continually increase your fan base. Engagement strategy, which is how you're going to respond to fans and build community inside, have a community actually to mirror your real life community, but have that on Facebook. Staff participation is highly recommended. It's one of the challenges that I see a lot of dealers have, but definitely give it a try. It's worth it. Conversion strategies, how you're going to convert those fans into customers. Measure and analyze what you do. It will give you lots of great information. And social selling goes mainstream. So just pull back to that. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And think about why you actually do what you do today and what makes you get up in the morning. And know that when you can sell that to a customer, they will join your ranks. And it's an opportunity that I think social media has brought to dealers and brought to just businesses in general, in the fact that we can communicate in a different way than just those broadcasting messages that we're all used to, watching TV commercials and billboards. So information is power, I like to say that. And for those of you that don't have a Facebook page, I highly recommend at least jumping in and think about having that idea that when you've been able to solve a problem for someone, that makes you remarkable, they will come back and buy from you.